It doesn't seem like 20 years. Was that the question? So when I started out, I was thinking about the 30s all the time. I had a very languid silhouette that I proposed in a distressed, softened way. And then the men's developed into something. I'm thinking of very simple clothes that have a sense of something a little bit regal about them in the exaggerated drape and proportions. Branching out into furniture, it was never a very deliberate step, but I kind of always knew that I was going to eventually try and modify or personalize everything around me. Recently, I have done a cycle of runway shows that were very elemental, and they kept getting progressively more theatrical. I mean, it started with lighting effects that were kind of as epic as I could make them. Then we had storms, and we had cascading foam, and then I started doing performance things with step teams from the States, just because I thought that it was thrilling and it was extravagant to have these actions kind of in the middle of the runway. It wasn't a backdrop. It was, they actually kind of invaded the runway and threatened to invade the audience. Almost a little dangerous for all of us. So it's because I'm trying to present something that makes us feel a little insignificant and kind of puts everything into perspective. When I'm presenting Egyptian slave silhouettes, I'm presenting skaters, I'm presenting medieval popes. I'm just trying to think of like all of these silhouettes that are kind of historical icons and then kind of putting them all together in a composition. We're thinking of kind of our place in the history of the world. And when people go into my stores, I want them to have a sense of history of me too. Every single thing that I presented, the very first collection in hotel rooms, of which Joyce was one of the first buyers, every single piece is still in the stores and in my corners. That represents the whole history of everything that I've done. And it's always going to be that way. One of the things that I've learned over the years is to listen to instincts more. I can't be receptive. It all has to be internal. Nothing really has to feel forced. It all needs to be a logical evolution of what came before it. So it really is about a personal universe, and that was a very deliberate thing. It had to be personal because that was the kind of designer I was always interested in. I was just going to go as far as I possibly could. I mean, I probably won't do facial surgery, but everything else probably, yeah.